Ever wondered what it's like to live in the land down under?
Well, you're not alone. Each year, 25,000 of us swap the daily grind for the daily serve.
Some people relocate for work, others for a new adventure, and some people pack their bags looking for a completely different way of life altogether.
And across this series, I've been helping plucky Brits find their dream homes down under.
What do you say to Phil, please?
Thank you!
Oh, you're very welcome.
But it's not my first time house hunting in Australia. 2 years ago, I helped 4 sets of British families put down Aussie roots.
I'm just absolutely gobsmacked. I am. And the sea is...
About 4 minutes walk away.
Walk?
Walk. So now I've come back to find out how they've settled in.
For me, it's not quite as cut and dry as John.
Yeah.
You know, I do miss UK, I do miss my family.
I'm revisiting the Davidsons, who moved to Perth to get a better work-life balance.
Hello! Knock, knock. Hello, everybody! Well, it's lovely to see your house again.
But as I find out, it's been far from perfect.
And it can be really tough to start with.
Fake it till you make it. Just keep smiling until you make it.
I'm also taking a nose round some spectacular Aussie properties. Plus, in my mission to find out what working down under can involve, I try my hand at sardine fishing. Frankly, though, I'm all at sea.
Oh, they feel lovely on your feet, don't they?
Wait till you get home.
Bloody hell!
The smell.
Ah.
Hold on to your cork hats. It's time to have your world turned upside down.
Welcome back to Australia.
I absolutely love everything about Australia, from the food and wine to the fantastic outdoor lifestyle. The current boomtown is Perth, over in Western Australia, 2,000 miles from Sydney. The average temperature here is a very pleasant 25 degrees, and the scenery ain't bad either. Built along the Swan River, it's got some of the world's most beautiful beaches right on its doorstep. No wonder it's officially ranked as the 8th most livable city on the planet, and it's a great place to bring up a family. Which is exactly why the Davidsons from Hornchurch in Essex decided to swap grey skies and long commutes for clear blue seas and long sunny days. Back in January 2009, the promise of their new life down under was still a dream for salesman Lee, schoolteacher Brona, and their daughters Megan, Neve and Hannah. With Lee facing a gruelling commute on the M25, life in the slow lane was pushing the family apart.
Typically, I'm spending sort of around about 3 hours a day in the car on my own, which is pretty lonely. I feel I'm missing out on quite a large part of their life, which I don't really want to miss out on, really.
The life they want couldn't be further from the 4-bedroom semi they currently have in Hornchurch, Essex.
We would just love to be within walking distance of the beach. We're about 45 minutes away from the nearest.
Which is Southend in the car at the moment, and Southend's got a stunning coastal line, but it's not particularly Western Australia or sandy.
Well, if they want life to be a beach, then how about these beauties? With the Australian shores calling them, it doesn't take Brona and Lee long to shape up and ship out. Just over a month later, they've already set up down under. Lee's landed himself a new job, and Brona's itching to find the perfect pad to get her family settled. I'm meeting them for a catch-up. Where else but at the beach?
Well, it's great to see you out here. How's it been going? You've been here a month?
We have. We've been having a ball. We were here last night, 8:30. We watched the sun go down over the Indian Ocean. It was beautiful.
I think we're probably a lot closer to settling on what we want now, aren't we? We've been here for 5...
I think we agree now.
That tends to help. I'm hoping you do.
That'll be the first time in our 10 years of marriage where that's the case.
Am I going to have to mediate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Lee and Brona have given me a budget of just under £287,000, and for that they're expecting to live the dream. They want a ready-made house with 4 good-sized bedrooms, minutes from the beach, with a large garden, and a pool is a must. 20 minutes from the kids' school and an easy commute to Lee's work in the city. It's no wonder the Davidsons have such high expectations. If you're changing your life this radically, then you want everything to be absolutely perfect. The good news is that you can get a lot more bricks for your bucks over here. In Essex, Lee and Broner's old stomping ground, the average cost of a house is about £238,000, £52,500 more than its equivalent in Perth. And you certainly don't get this in Southend. Lee and Broner have fallen in love with the northern suburbs of Perth, a short drive out from the hustle and bustle of the city, and given me a search area along the beautiful coastline, stretching from Mullaloo in the south up to Jindalee. We're starting at the top, in an area they've already told me they love, Quinns Rocks. It's minutes from the kids' new school and an easy drive for Lee to work. Even better, the house is on the market at just over £211,000, a whopping £76,000 below budget. To top it all, it's only a kangaroo's hop to a stunning beach.
Can I just get your first thoughts on being where we are and taking a look at the house?
I think it doesn't strike me immediately from the outside.
It's got certain elements that I hope you'll like.
Good.
Let's get in.
I have to admit, I've seen happier faces in my life. I'm really testing Lee and Broner with this one, and it is a risk because it's the first house they've seen out here. It's got the 4 bedrooms and garden space they want, but it's not the home they were dreaming of back in Essex, yet. They would have to put in the pool they're so desperate for, and the inside needs TLC. But I plan to show them how, with their budget, they could turn this place into the Antipodean pad of their dreams.
Come on in. Into a sort of family room, although I'd rather have this as a playroom. That's the space.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping you'd be impressed with.
Yeah, there's definitely is room here, isn't there?
Faint praise indeed. Lee's got a face like a wet weekend.
First impressions is, yeah, you're going to need to be a little bit more sort of visionary with it. But there is space. And Broner's the one who usually has the visions and the plans, so...
Let me show you outside.
I'm desperate to see outside.
The plot is big. I think there's a lot of improvements you can make out here. This...
Feels like dead space.
It's completely dead
space.
space. Take that away, put a pool in.
This house is amazing value, and there's so much Lee and Broner could do to improve it. The 2 small bedrooms at the back could easily be pushed out to the garden without too much compromise to the large outside area. But from their faces, I worry that Lee and Broner are just seeing as a potential nightmare.
It just don't feel right.
It is quite a tough one because I am testing their brief right in the first house. And certainly Broner doesn't look convinced at this point. We'll see.
You need to compromise, but...
Too big a compromise?
What do you reckon, now you've had a look round?
I'm just thinking how usable it is.
It's almost like it would need a whole doing of the inside to make it right.
Fine, we'll move on. This was about a budget, and you've got a lot more money to spend than this, so we can improve. Okay.
Well, that could have gone better. But if it's va-va-voom Lee and Broner want, then that's what they're going to get. Coming up, I'll be showing them a house that could just blow their socks off.
That's beautiful.
I'll be giving you a sneaky peek inside some of Australia's best homes. And things are going to get a little fishy in Fremantle as I find out about jobs in Oz.
Fish! Let's go fishing! Okay, my line!
2 years ago, I helped Lee, Broner and their 3 young girls search for their dream home down under. And their chosen city is Perth, in Australia's Wild West. But my first house didn't exactly set their world alight.
You need to compromise, but...
It just don't feel right.
Fine, we'll move on.
But when I wasn't busy house hunting, I wanted to find out more about some typical Aussie jobs. And with Western Australia having over 12,000 miles of coastline, fishing has historically been one of the biggest industries here. And today it's worth over $400 million to the local economy. Half an hour's drive from the centre of Perth is the busy fishing town of Fremantle. It's world famous for its rock lobster industry, but I'm here on the hunt for a completely different kettle of fish. Having said that, when I signed up, nobody mentions sleep deprivation.
When I said that I wanted to take a bit of a look at the Australian food industry, I really wasn't anticipating being asked to meet someone called Sardine Jimmy at 5:30 in the morning.
tell you what, sleeping with the fishes suddenly sounds like quite an appealing option.
Jimmy, I'm Phil.
Hi, Phil. Welcome to our warm and sunny country.
Oh, it's a beautiful temperature this morning, even if you do start work at this time.
Yeah, no, this is the best time of the morning. Yeah.
Jimmy's agreed to take me out on his sardine trawler to show me what a career at sea can bring you out here. I'm hoping one of those might be fish for my breakfast.
Well, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I can't see a lot, but I'm excited about what I might be able to see.
You will in a sec.
If we're on the right track, Jimmy's sonar should point us straight to the nearest school of sardines. On a good day, these guys can catch up to 4 tons of the little suckers.
So we're just in the fishing ground now, so hopefully we'll find a school of fish now.
I'm glad Jimmy's optimistic, but if there's one thing that's certain at sea, it's that nothing is certain. And as day breaks, we still haven't spotted a solitary sardine.
It was a full moon last night, which apparently isn't good for sardine fishing. And as you can see, the sun's just coming up over Perth. That's also not good for sardine fishing. So I'm afraid the good restaurants of Perth aren't going to be having fresh sardines on their menu today. Not by the looks of things at this rate.
It looks like my early start may have been all for nothing. The fish just aren't playing ball. We're seconds from turning back when...
Fish! Let's go fishing!
Okay,
With the sardines spotted, it's a race against time to get the boat in exactly the right place and the net out. Every second wasted sees the fish disappearing. The net is shot out of the rear of the boat, and then it's up to Jimmy to drag it in a huge circle around the school of fish.
Now the weights have gone down to the bottom and they're closing the net at the bottom. The longer this process takes, the more the fish can swim underneath it and under the boat.
Yeah, we got fish. You see the birds swooping down on it? The birds can see them before we can.
Well, I'll tell you what, for a moment I thought we were all going hungry, but I'm told there are fish out here. Better be, I tell you.
Thank God for that. And as the net comes in, I spot what looks like the biggest sardine in the world.
What is it?
This is what we call a northwest blowfish or puffer fish.
All right, mate, so we don't want him.
No, he's fish for the future. We're going to broil the old-fashioned way by hand.
Okay, I'm in.
Time to get my hands dirty.
Faster!
There's certainly nothing high-tech about this. There's half a ton of sardines in the net, and the only thing that's going to get them into the boat is good old-fashioned elbow grease.
Oh, they feel lovely on your feet, don't they?
Wait till you get home.
Bloody hell!
The smell.
I'll never think of sardines on toast in the same way again.
My wife is. They're a mixture of fish here. This one here is we call a yellowtail or scad. But these ones here are our tropical or northern hot water sardine.
Nearly there.
With the fish safely on deck, quite literally, I want to find out if this is something anyone coming over from the UK can have a go at. And I know just the men to ask.
Would there be opportunities for British people to come out here and live this life, to do this work?
Oh, definitely. I know of an English guy and an English girl who got a job refitting one of the prawn boats. And in about 3 weeks, they're heading up north to do the prawn season.
They earn really good money.
Yeah, prawn season, you make, 6, 7 weeks, $30,000, $40,000. You have your days where, no fish, no money.
So it's the amount of fish that you catch that...
Yeah.
No fish, no money.
No money.
Enjoy the sun.
$40,000 or nearly £24,000 in just over a month. That's incredible money, but it's not guaranteed. And spending 3 weeks at a time out at sea means you certainly put in the graft for your cash. If you want to cast your net wider than the UK job market and make the leap over to Oz, you'll need the relevant visa. If you're aged between 18 and 30, you can get a 12-month working holiday visa without too much strife. But if you want to make things more permanent, then you'll need to have the right job to qualify for a skilled migration visa. The list of jobs the Australian government are currently looking to fill covers a huge range of professions, from architects to engineers, surgeons to welders. To find out more, you can visit our website at channel4.com/4homes. I'm in Perth, helping the Davidson family start a whole new life. But with a confused brief and a wish list as long as an emu's neck. It's not just the weather that's making me hot under the collar. Think I might have been barking up the wrong tree with the first house I showed them. They may have loved the area, but the house just needed too much TLC. But I'm getting the measure of these two now, and if it's finish and finesse that Lee and Bronner are after, I think I've got just the place. The next house I want to show them's a right little beauty. It's in the established suburb of Ocean Reef, named after a line of coral reef just offshore. It's minutes from the kids' school in Coembine, and a short drive to yet another stunning beach. It's even got its own harbour, and must feel like a million miles from what they've left behind in the UK. Over 50% of the population in Ocean Reef are from overseas, most of them Brits, and it's easy to see what's pulling them all here. Well, this is Ocean Reef, and that is obviously Ocean Reef Primary School. You couldn't get a lot closer to the school.
No.
Hopefully that doesn't cause you too much of a problem.
You know, it's not something that I'd considered. It might be something that I'd need to think about.
The house itself is immaculate, with 4 good-sized bedrooms, so none of the 3 girls would feel left out, and a living room and outside area that could fulfil all Lee's beer and Barbie fantasies. It's on the market at between £269,400 and £287,000. So in budget, and if they like it, I reckon there's still a deal to be done. Now this one is very styled. It's kind of styled within an inch of its life, so it really couldn't be more different from where we've come from.
You can see that this space has a function, whereas the other house, it was just dead, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think this is where it gets pretty interesting.
Wow. Wow. That's
a decent sized room.
That is definitely feels nice.
It feels so light. Look, I'm
Yeah. That is another room in itself.
Oh wow.
Look at the room out there.
Oh.
They've got it really well set up. It's only been up a couple of months.
But you've
beautiful.
almost got 2 separate parts to it out there, haven't you? It just did within the alfresco area.
Lee, can I suggest you have a look through the family bedrooms, and Bronner and I enjoy the back here.
The outside space was the important thing for me. This will satisfy the kids' needs, and you can just see how the space is going to work.
Tell me, how have the first few weeks gone for you?
With Lee starting work and the kids starting school. Last week was a bit of a tricky one for me. Where we lived in the UK, I knew a lot of faces, I knew parents, I knew students that I'd taught. So it has been very different.
It's always a little bit bumpy to start with. Main thing is that we find you a home that everyone's going to be happy in, and then you can really sort of settle and put down your roots. But you better see if Lee likes it as much as you do.
Look at the view that you've got.
Amazing, isn't it?
That's lovely.
Is a view.
Lee's excited, and he hasn't even seen the Barbie area yet.
That is just...
It's the way forward, isn't it?
My play area, isn't it?
I love it, but I don't want you to get carried away by this, because you could do this somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's only been done a month or 2.
Really?
They spent a lot of money doing it. They've done it well, but you could replicate it. But I think it's fantastic that we've seen something that you've been so positive about. We're positioned well to go on with the search now, knowing that we've got a half-decent benchmark.
Good.
See you later, I'm staying.
He's home. He really is home. Come on. This is a cracking house. I wouldn't be quite so bold to say that my work here is done, but I'm hopeful. And I am not finished yet. The next house I've lined up is all about location, 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 and I'm going to start by showing them just what the next area could offer. Mindara is quite a popular little hub of the local community. There's loads of boating and fishing, there's bars, cafes, it seems there's a lot of people congregate here.
Yeah.
And there's a beach just over there.
Well, you'd be pleased to know we can walk to the next house from here. It's 5 minutes from here. So this really would be where you could spend a great deal of time.
Wow.
Come on
Right.
over. All that on your doorstep, and the house isn't too shabby either. It's got the outside space, a pool, 4 whopping bedrooms, and a beautifully laid out kitchen area. I honestly can't see what's not to like here. It's on at £301,000, over their budget by 14 grand. But I'm confident that we could get it for the money Lee and Brona have, which would be a steal in this prestigious part of town.
Now, another big open plan space we have for you.
Look at that, look.
On a very big plot. This is the biggest plot that I've got to show you. Look at your face.
It's got what is... Yeah.
I'm speechless. Doesn't have the same finish as the last property, but...
What I'm hoping is that having shown you the last property, you could come round here, you could look at... You go, I could do that, I could do this.
Yeah.
The lady who owns the house also runs a business from here. She's a hairdresser. So that room has on-street access.
OK.
It seems you've both really been talking about the importance of the outside space and that it's kind of up there with the inside.
Yeah.
Given what you're trying to achieve.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, coming from the UK where, you know, that was probably the size of our garden, which is incredible, isn't it? And it, you know, you really do feel lucky and spoiled, and the outside space is absolutely what we're looking for. It ticks all the boxes so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
OK, well, better see if Brona agrees.
I just hope that she's as enthusiastic as her hubby.
This is the biggest family room.
Yeah. And
space.
Well, there's a happy customer, which I'm delighted to see. Ticks all the boxes. Say no more than that.
But it's this, I just think this is... It's dark. And there's no scope to put a window in. You can't have it as a door from a kid's bedroom,
no,
as a door out onto the street. See how light that is?
Yeah. It's a big difference, isn't it?
Well, that'll teach me to count my chooks.
One property seemed definitely declined. Two others pretty positive.
First seeing this one I was, but the more I think about it, that third bedroom, there's not enough light coming in.
And it does feel quite dark
in there.
You know, it's a single-storey property.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of scope to get light in from the top.
Yeah, no, that's the point.
We've got more to see, and let's not write this off as yet, because I do think you could sort that bedroom out.
I'm worried Brona's going to veto this property over that dark bedroom. I hope that she can see with a teeny tiny bit of work this house could be perfect for her and her family. Coming up, I meet the £10 Pom who's taken Australian life by the horns.
I guess we've built something like 200 homes around Apollo Bay.
So. Really?
I'll take a look around some of the best des resis in Perth. And 2 years on from our house search, I find out if Brona and Lee's move to Oz has lived up to the dream or turned into a nightmare.
You for it, do you think? You're home and dry?
Well, we're still here.
Years ago, I came to Perth to help the Davidson family swap the daily grind of life in the UK for a new start in Australia. And 3 houses down, they were liking what I'd found them.
That is another room in itself.
Oh, wow.
Look at the room out there.
Oh.
To get their work visa, Lee and Brona took advantage of the fact that Australia has thousands of places available for skilled migrants who've got the right qualifications. But of course, us Brits coming here to fill a gap in the workforce is nothing new.
Australia ahead. The end of your journey is in sight as your ship approaches the coastline of Western Australia.
From the 40s through to the 70s, more than 1 million people emigrated from Britain to Australia for just £10. And I want to find out how they made such a drastic move work.
Thousands of these so-called £10 Poms had their first taste of Australia and their new home as they arrived here in Melbourne's Docklands after what would have been 6 weeks at sea.
And it was quite a culture shock. Devised by the Australian government after World War II to plug holes in the country's labour force, this was no holiday. I'm on my way to meet John Howe, who stepped off the boat in 1958 at the tender age of 14, with nothing more than his mother for company and a strong sense of adventure.
When we came on the boat, we couldn't believe it that Mum had a cabin to herself. Me, as a 14-year-old kid, had a cabin to himself. And for some reason, we ate at the captain's table. And don't ask me how that happened. I said my mum must have been praying very hard for that to happen, especially coming from a council estate like we did.
John and his mum had travelled from Croydon to Melbourne. At that time, the majority of male migrants were craftsmen or production process workers. But even at just 14 years old, what John was after was a piece of the countryside to call his own. 50 years later, he's done that, and more. He owns 300 acres here at Garanja Meet, plus a further 50 acres and 10 properties in Apollo Bay, which is just over 2 hours down the coast from Melbourne. So how on earth did he manage it? And how does he think someone else could learn from his experience?
In those days, they were just crying out for labour. I was working as an apprentice carpenter, a joiner.
Yeah.
But also, I was working doing anything for anybody. I worked on the market garden. I just...
You were just working?
Doing anything,
yeah.
yes. So we were able to purchase 10 acres of land, and that was the start of my farming career.
And as John farmed, he also built houses, not just for himself and his family, but, well, for everyone.
We were having a bit of a tally up a while ago. I guess we've built something like 200 homes around Apollo Bay.
Have you really? It must be quite special to look down on Apollo Bay and go, well, I kind of built that.
Well, sometimes it's just you're driving down a street somewhere and you think, oh, yeah, oh, that's right, we built that place there, and oh, there's another one there that we did, and there's one street not far from where we are. I think there's 7 or 8 homes in the one street, and I just think, oh, yeah, I guess
That's
I feel
special.
very proud of that. It's an achievement.
So this is where hard work can get you in Oz. This, and this, and this, and this. Good man. The last £10 POM ship sailed to Sydney in 1977, but that didn't signal the end of assisted migration. Although there are no £10 tickets given today, the Australian government's still calling out for hard-working Brits. Best place to start if you don't already have an Aussie job offer on the table, the Migration Occupations in Demand list. From carpenters and joiners like John to architects, obstetricians, surveyors, chefs and engineers, having the right work skills will fast-track you to your own piece of Aussie heaven. For advice on how to get a visa and anything else you need to know, log on to our website at channel4.com/4homes. Back to the house search, Lee and Brona Davidson from Essex are looking for their forever family home in the northern suburbs of Perth. The last house I showed them in Mindarie could be in the running, although Brona's not so keen on that gloomy bedroom.
There's no scope to put a window in.
And while the Ocean Reef house was beautifully designed and had an amazing garden, ideally they'd like a bit more space closer to the beach. So I'm bringing them back to their favourite area of Quinns Rock. It's that amazing beach backing into the Indian Ocean that's pulling them here, and it's easy to see why. Southend, this is not.
Definitely got a bit more curb appeal.
Yeah?
Yeah, and the sea is...
About 4 minutes walk away.
Walk?
Walk.
Wow.
Jump in a car and I'm told it's a minute, but...
Yeah, let's get inside.
Yeah, come on then.
But it's not just the location that makes this house shine. If size matters to Brona, this'll make her a very happy lady indeed. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 huge reception rooms, a playroom for the kids and 4 big bedrooms. It's on the market at offers over £269,000, nicely under budget.
The house is tenanted, so it's not in the best presentation. It can certainly look a lot smarter than it does today. But I want you to have a bit of an explore and a look around. There's a lot of rooms here. This is one of 4 family rooms.
Oh. Wow.
That's a big room. Yeah.
The plot is small, but the house is big.
Right.
So the compromise is the garden.
I just can't believe the number of lounges that there are.
No,
There's so much scope. You've got your playroom, you've got your formal
I haven't even
lounge.
shown you the
You have
playroom.
a study.
I haven't got to the playroom.
There is a...
There's a playroom on top of that. This is the kids' own playroom or homework room.
Wow. No, that's good.
All of these bedrooms at the back are light and bright.
It's huge.
Yeah.
But I'm worried about the garden.
Go and have a look. Help yourself.
And this room's a good size too. It's nice.
Oh my God, there's a pool. I wasn't expecting that.
When I said that the compromise was the garden, her face went, oh, thinking it would be tiny. It's not bad at all.
that has got everything that we wanted and more in terms of space. And then to come out and still see a pool.
And still have a pool.
Is phenomenal.
How does it make you feel about the others?
What others?
House number 2 had some really good plus points in terms of close to the kids' school, close to the senior school. I mean, the outdoor space was superb, wasn't it? 2 and 4 are both contenders for different reasons.
Yeah. It's fascinating, because we've gone from, your face has gone from utter bewilderment to, oh my God, this is serious, I'm going to have to do something.
To see Ocean Reef, number 2, for you to have total peace of mind either way.
That'll make it clear. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Poor old Brona looked utterly bewildered. I think this house has managed to age her in one viewing. The reality is seriously hitting home now that they're in Australia and may actually be about to buy a house. With its lucrative mining industry, Western Australia has more millionaires per capita than anywhere else in Oz. It's also got some of the most amazing properties, and it would be rude not to at least give you at home a peek inside. This house just outside Perth has taken an incredibly steep, difficult building site and created an absolutely stunning home. 4 years in the making, the owner has perched the single-storey sensation on engineered stilts and covered it in glass to make the most of breathtaking views out to the distant ocean. By keeping the inside open plan, the feeling of space inside is quite amazing. Now that's what you call a loo with a view. Mind you, if, like Lee and Brona, you're after beachside living, these apartments in the exclusive area of Cottesloe, Perth's answer to Beverly Hills, might be more to your taste. And the price tag? Well, if you want one, it's yours for a cool £2.8 million. Lee and Brona may not have that kind of money to spend, but space is still one of the most important factors driving their search. With a young family to think of, they've got to get this right. First time round, Brona wasn't sure about the school over the road here, but they both fell head over heels for the immaculate finish inside and out. Having just seen the house of their dreams in Quinns Rocks, it'll be fascinating to see how this one compares now. They need to keep a cool head.
Let's go in there with an open mind. You are facing a big decision.
Okay.
Come on. Emotions are left out here. Brain is taken in with us. If we assess it on a room-by-room basis, this is not as good.
But, no, 1-0 to Quinns.
Yeah. OK, how does this one compare with the one at Quinns?
Looking at it without furniture, the size is nowhere near as big.
Okay.
So,
fine.
2-0 Quinns.
2-0 Quinns. Let's go to the study.
I like the way you come into the study off the formal living room, call it what you will. I think it's nice and relaxed.
I know what you're saying, but actually, if it's a study,
does it
shouldn't be relaxed. It needs to be closed off.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So, who wins?
Quinns.
3-0.
Well, moving on.
3-0.
Most important room of the house in both options. Similar in size.
I've got to say I do like the view from here right to that far wall.
Who gets the points for this one?
I think this for me is better.
Yeah, 3-1. The comeback is on the cards.
Bedrooms are just too small.
Yeah,
and they're too close together.
Yeah.
Well, that's 4-1.
Yeah.
Do you want to go outside or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Now, the outside, of course, was the other very important area, if not the most important area of everything.
It still has
stunning,
it, doesn't it?
It's still stunning.
It still has it. That's a lovely pool. I think this house has got a lot of plus points in terms of location, but it's not within walking distance of a beach, and that's what we ideally want to do.
It's what we wish for.
We didn't know a lot about this area before we came to look at this house, did we?
No.
Brona looks like she's got the weight of the world on her shoulders, and I'm not surprised. This is one of the biggest decisions she'll ever have to make for her family.
It's never easy. Can I make a suggestion that we get the girls along to Quinns
and get their take on whether they could deal with the garden. It's the garden, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the bedrooms are fantastic. They'll love the bedrooms.
Yeah.
They'll love the living space.
It's the garden. And the pool.
Time to bring this one us. Well, there's a turn up for the books. I've never had somebody cry over a house that they're apparently about to reject. I think it goes to show the magnitude of the decision that they faced. They've travelled right across the world to make this decision. It's not just about the lifestyle, it's about living in a house that they could not dream of back in Essex. And now they're trying to choose between two of them.
This is it, guys. What do you think?
Looks nice.
You think it looks nice from the outside?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Daddy, I really love that house.
Did someone set you up? It wasn't me. Come on.
Wow, that's great, isn't it?
I think it's finally just hit me that this is it now. We're moving from rental accommodation, we're buying a house, and I just want to make sure that I'm doing the best thing for them. You know, that was our starting point. You know, that's why we've done this. You know, I've taken my family 12,000 miles away.
You're going to get it right.
I need to make sure that the house is right for us.
Yeah.
And that we're happy in it.
And going to be happy in 3 and 5 and 7 years' time.
And it's all those kinds of things. You make your decisions for your family.
Sorry.
This house really does answer all of the demands Lee and Brona threw at me when they were back in Essex. But it's such a big move. I just hope Brona's ready for her dreams to become reality. Hopefully, a bit of sea air will help make up their minds.
How long did it take to get to the beach?
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
I reckon it was only 3.5. This has gone as far as it can go. I reckon it's crunch time.
Well, there we are, guys. We've seen some pretty good places. What do you want to do?
You would show me any property and I would still need to sleep on it to give it at least a night's thought.
Yeah. Okay. You take some time.
Yeah? Yeah.
And I'll ring you in the morning.
I think Lee's got his head and his heart set on the house in Quinns Rocks and all it could give his family. But poor Brona's still in turmoil.
Well, one way or another, it's been a fairly traumatic day for them. But I'm not surprised the way it's turned out. They will buy that house. But not yet. What? What have you found me? Treasure!
And I hate to sound smug, but 2 days later...
I did a lot of soul searching, a lot of thinking, and I just had a moment of clarity. And I phoned you and said, I want to offer on the Quinns Rock property.
In Western Australia, all offers have to be formally submitted in writing. I suggest we go in at just under £285,000, £5,000 under the asking price and right on their budget. With the offer in, all we can do is wait.
How you doing, Phil?
Yeah, very well, very well. I'm very pleased to be able to report to you good news from the agent. The deal is yours. You can get in there and sign the paperwork. The deal's done.
Oh, brilliant
Fantastic.
news. Well done.
Yeah, well done yourself.
Thanks ever so much for all your work. Woo!
Oh, brilliant.
It certainly is brilliant, and it doesn't take these too long to get their family settled. 3 months later, and they're already moved in.
Phil was great, wasn't he? Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah.
Grab a cold one out of the fridge and
Come for a barbie.
And who am I to turn down an offer like that? Coming up, I meet Brona and Lee after almost 2 years in Australia. But has the move met their expectations?
I've spoken to people who have been here for 6 months and are so desperately homesick that that's it, they're packing up and going back.
years ago, I helped Brona and Lee Davidson find their forever home in Perth, Western Australia. It was a move of a lifetime for them and their 3 girls, Hannah, Neve and Megan. Coming to Australia was all about getting more quality time together. While Lee was desperate to cut down his daily commute, Brona wanted the perfect family house to bring up the girls. Now they're in, I'm back to find out if their move down under has been everything they hoped for.
Hello? Anybody home? Hello? Knock, knock. Hello, everybody. Hello. Well, it's lovely to see your house again.
Come in, take a seat.
So 2 years in, still happy with the house?
I think in some ways it's more difficult for me because I'm the one that takes the kids up and down to school, and that was one of the big issues when we were trying to decide on a house, was close to where they are at school or close to the beach. Yeah. And we plumped for close to the beach, didn't we? And there are some days I'm up and down 3 times. It's not terrible, but there are some days, and then they have a party and they need to be taken down again in the evening. It's like, ah!
So the location has been a bit of a problem for Brona, despite the short walk to the beach. But there are plenty of upsides. They've all come together to make the house their own by landscaping the front garden, creating a veggie patch for the kids and putting in a cinema room.
A lot of people who move over here are looking for something. Did you find it?
That's a great question, isn't it? You know, I suppose what I was certainly looking for was a bit more time with my family, to sort of spend more time with them, and that's really nice. Creates its problems at times, but you know, I think that's really nice, spending the amount of time we all get to spend together.
What time are you out of here in the morning?
Typically in the mornings I'll leave around about 6:30, 25 to 7.
And back home at night?
I can be home around about 5:15, 20 past 5.
That's it.
I'm getting to watch the girls play all their sport, whereas I would just want to have had an opportunity to do that in the UK.
And the girls are happy?
Oh, the girls are very much settled, absolutely. You know, I think it started with Hannah really settling in really quickly, and then Neve sort of found her feet.
But while it's clear Lee and the girls are already right at home here, it has been more difficult for Brona. She was looking after the children and initially decided not to work.
I suppose, as is often the case, Lee went out to work and he had an immediate sort of social network, he had a focus, whereas you were at home doing the school run. How did that pan out?
Yeah, you do have to sort of put yourself out there. You have to make yourself be around other people and have something for yourself, really.
And that's exactly what she's done. Brona's taken on a part-time position as a teacher's assistant at the local primary school.
Got to the stage, I think, where I needed to go back to work. It's been great having the time with Megan and being able to do all the things with the kids, but Megan's going back to school full-time next year. So, yeah, it's all working out well.
Would you say it's been harder than you anticipated, then?
It can be really tough to start with. Because obviously you grow up and your friends are from school and from you know, the suburbs in which you live in, and you come here and you've got none of that.
I remember a friend of mine saying before I left, he said, just fake it till you make it. Just keep smiling until you make it, and the day will come when you will feel like you're part of the scenery there.
You're through it, do you think? You're home and dry?
Well, we're still here.
I think we'd read on different things that, you know, the first 2 years were supposed to be the hardest. And
yes.
If you can get through the first 2 years, then, you know, and don't go back within that time for a holiday. And
I've spoken to people who have been here for 6 months and are so desperately homesick that that's it, they're packing up and going back. But that's the one thing that we would say we aren't going back. We're definitely not.
So perseverance is the name of the game, though not all of us Poms who move down under stick it out. Over 3,000 Brits headed back to the UK last year, many of them returning because they missed family and friends. With my wife being from Melbourne, I know from her experience it's not always easy living over 10,000 miles away from your nearest and dearest. But luckily for Brona, she doesn't have to anymore. Younger sister Claire and husband Paul moved here just over a year ago, along with their daughter Kate. And most weekends, this lot like nothing better than a barbie on the beach. It's family time like this that helps smooth out those settling in blues.
Claire, when you arrived, how was it to start with?
For me, actually, it was quite difficult, but that was one of the things, particularly having Brona around, was really, really good. I mean, you know, someone to talk to and say, how did you cope with this? And, you know, because it's not all a bed of roses when you do first move out.
But overall, Claire and Paul are convinced they've also made the right decision.
It's been the best thing we've ever done, actually.
Really?
It's been a real positive move. Whenever we heard that Brona and Lee were moving out, it made us realise that we actually wanted to come too.
That must be really special
Yes.
for the family to have proper time together.
Yes, that has been a real...
That's been a real big plus, real big bonus, because we did leave some good friends behind.
Yeah.
I mean, even on a day like today, when you know, the weather's not as great as it usually is, you just know that you're outside, and you know tomorrow's going to be a blue sky. We've had 2 bad days in a row. You don't get free.
Is there any going back?
For me, never go back. Just maybe just for a holiday visit home, yeah.
Well, congratulations, all of you.
Cheers.
Well done.
Cheers.
We've been so lucky in that we've got a bit of family here too, so it really is all just slotting into place.
There's no hiding from it. Moving to the other side of the world is not a walk in the park. Lee and Brona admit they've had ups and downs along the way, but they recognise that committing to it heart and soul is the way to pull it off, and that's what they've done.
Next week, I'm revisiting another set of recruits who made the move 2 years ago. Army man John decided to settle down in Sydney after years of moving his family around the globe. But with 3 generations under one roof, I want to discover if things are working out.
It's obviously been a real labour of love.
You know, we've been at it every weekend.
Every weekend?
Every weekend.
And find out what Nana Joan's been up to.
We don't see a lot of her, really, do we? She's always out gallivanting with her new friends.
Still to come tonight, why is Dad examining himself so intently? New comedy Friday Night Dinner continues at 10. But next tonight, Dr. Christian tackles falling male fertility rates in Embarrassing Bodies.